So how does the Shohei Ohtani blockbuster signing contract affect the Juan Soto potential extension? Let's get into that right now. Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Happy Sunday. Hope you're ready for a good weekend of football too. So my question today is, how does the Shohei Ohtani signing, for those that haven't heard, it was reported everywhere, confirmed everywhere that he signed. And now the contract hasn't been made official yet because he hasn't passed his physical. The Dodgers haven't announced it yet either, but he's signing a 10-year, $700 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is an unprecedented number. It surpasses Lionel Messi for the biggest contract in professional sports in history. So Messi was the biggest at $675 million with Barcelona, and this is surpassing that at $700 million for 10 years. And again, there's apparently some deferred money. We don't know what the calculated numbers yet are exactly, but nevertheless, he's going to get $700 million from the Dodgers, even if it's stretched out over a period of years, like the Nationals did with Max Scherzer and so on, or like the Mets did with Bobby Bonilla until basically he's 100. So, and it makes sense. And the Japanese market is tremendous in Los Angeles, so he's going to bring a lot more to the Dodgers than his just production. Even though he's not going to pitch this year, and I see him being a two-way player for maybe upwards of half of his contract, and then turning into a strictly offensive player, or maybe even a closer. So, but it still remains to be seen. But how is this going to affect the Juan Soto potential extension? I think it will. I think it's raised the stakes everywhere across the board. And he skipped $500 million, he skipped $600 million, went right to $700 million. So he makes $27 million a year more than Mike Trout does. Okay, his contract is almost double what Aaron Judge made. If Judge would have signed now as a free agent, he'd probably be making $50 million a year, something like that. So this is unprecedented. It really, really is. But let's talk about how it's going to affect the Juan Soto thing. By the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel for some reason, please do that right now before you leave, okay? Before you finish watching this. Hit the notification button too, because we're going to continue to talk about this. I'm going to continue feeding you in all the news that comes in, all the rest of the signings. There's a lot more guys that still need to be signed. So, and we're on the road to 20,000 subs. We're about 280 away, so I greatly appreciate it. You supporting the channel by subscribing. I really do. I want to make sure that you always get good content on a consistent basis. Now, Juan Soto is represented by Scott Boras, who's notorious. And he's already pitched the Phillies on an extension for Bryce Harper, who has 8 years left on his deal. And by the way, I got to give a shout out to Tats and Mike Mazza from the Pinstripe Chronicles for having me on their panel last night. We had an open discussion with a lot of great guys. And we talked about this and the effects on Yamamoto and the effects on Soto, and got a lot of different feedbacks. So here's my take on it as well. And again, I thank you guys for having me on. So Scott Boras' agent, Juan Soto is 5 years younger than Shohei Ohtani. So chances are you're going to get 5 more prime years. So I'm guessing that this is probably going to be the initial ask for Scott Boras regarding Juan Soto, the $700 million for probably 14 years. He was able to secure a 13-year deal for Bryce Harper at the age of 26. I don't see why he wouldn't now that this new threshold has been met. I'm not saying that's what he's going to get, but all signs are pointing towards him asking for it at the very least. And again, this is Scott Boras. So if anybody's going to ask for it, it's Scott Boras, the Jedi Master of sports agents. So I'm guessing the number I'm looking at is probably 14 years, $700 million, which is $50 million per, which is still $20 million a year less than Ohtani's making. He will figure out a way to justify a $700 million ask. Do I think he'll get it? I don't know. But I think he's going to get no less than 600 now. You know, these guys got to be thanking Ohtani and his people for securing this contract, because not only is it going to elevate that, it's going to elevate Yoshinobu Yamamoto's contract, who's probably going to get $300 million or as close to it as possible, or north of it, not including the posting fee. And I think he's going to raise the stakes for a lot of other players as well. So, and I still think that the Yamamoto bidding, and we'll find out tomorrow, the Yankees are meeting with Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow, okay? And Hideki Matsui, we've got confirmation on this from the Yankees. Hideki Matsui and Masahiro Tanaka are going to be at this meeting. Okay, and I think the new Japanese owner as well is going to be at this meeting. So all hands are going to be on deck. They're showing how committed they are. They had a rep, and Brian Cashman confirmed this, they had a rep at every single one of Yamamoto's games this year. They're in Japan pretty much every week. If that's not a sign of dedication, I don't know what is. So, and so I'm hoping that we hear something. I'm guessing we'll hear some kind of news after the meeting, some kind of things trickling in, and hopefully we'll get a notification. We'll get some news after that. The deadline for him to sign is January 4th with a team. Otherwise, he has to go back to Japan and can't be posted again until the following year. And even though Roki Sasaki, the younger version of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, asked to be posted yesterday at the age of 22, I don't know if it's going to happen. But the fact is, Yamamoto has a track record, just like Juan Soto does. They're both 25. They both have track records of health and durability and productivity. Okay? And this is something that the Yankees don't have a lot of, with the exception of Gerrit Cole and Aaron Judge. They need guys like that, young building blocks with track records of proven consistency. That's what these guys both represent. This is why I think that Hal's going to be super dedicated to making sure Yamamoto comes here too. And then I do think that he will be the first in the line to try to sign, and maybe even they'll try to get at it early, to try to extend Juan Soto before we get to the free agent market. But I think that $700 million contract for Ohtani pretty much eliminated about 98% of the teams in baseball. So I do think it's down, in all honesty, to the Yankees and the Mets. The Dodgers have the resources, but I don't think Yamamoto would want to go to the Dodgers to be the second best player, the second best Japanese player there behind Ohtani. He'll be the top Japanese guy. He'll be the ace, and they reserve number 18 for him. So, but that still remains to be seen, right? They got to sign him. And if they don't sign him, do they pivot quickly? And what do? If they don't sign him, do they move Gleyber Torres for a starting pitcher? Do they sign Shota Managa, right? And I'm talking about Yamamoto here. Do they sign Shota Managa, who's going to be not even half the price of Yamamoto? And then they make another trade for another pitcher with Gleyber Torres and shift the priority a little bit from run production to run prevention. Okay, they've already added 3 left-handed bats. So even if you move Torres, they're still up 2 bats, and they've gotten a hell of a lot more balance in the lineup. But if they keep Gleyber Torres after they sign Yamamoto, that's all signs also pointing that they're all in. But they'd be kind of irresponsible to not test the market, because I don't see them with all the infield depth that they have at the farm, not far away. I can't see them extending Gleyber Torres and blocking all these other guys. So I think they could be wise to entertain and see what they can get for him, even if it's a controllable reliever, which they said they needed. They can do that as well. So I think a lot of stuff is really banking on whether Yamamoto signs. But going back to Shohei Ohtani, I do think that the $700 million is going to be the initial asking point for Scott Boras, okay, regarding Juan Soto. And he'll have a good chance of getting it. And he will use Soto being not only a generational player like Ohtani, but being 5 years younger. And just like Ohtani has a unique skill set, so does Soto. And he does things that he has the best on-base percentage in baseball. Draws walks, he gets contact, hits for power. He does everything. So, and if the Yankees somehow get him and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and make any other complimentary moves on top of that, they are a hell of a lot better team than they are last year. And the fact that Jays did not get Ohtani, which a lot of folks thought they did, okay, was such a tease the day before with the Ohtani Arson Judge moment for John Morosi and some other writers and other beat writers. Going to the Dodgers means we have to worry about less. Okay, worry about him less. We don't have to face him as much. And that also means, you know, if and when Juan Soto stays, him and Aaron Judge will be competing for the MVP every year. Ohtani's not here. So a lot of good things to look forward to. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Okay? There's a lot of different ways, and I think a lot of it depends on whether Yamamoto signs here or not. So if he does sign here, maybe they'll go all in and stay and keep Torres and just give him the qualifying offer. Because if he plays well, he's going to turn it down. The Yankees will get 2 draft picks and international money. Or if they decide to trade him, get another pitcher to really fortify that bullpen and the rotation, they're going to be good either way. So, but I want to know what your thoughts are. Load up the comments. Have a great week. I'll talk to y'all next time.